Yeah.
Yeah. So, any question to me on the my introduction? I mean, then we'll go to the SharePoint introduction. So, SharePoint, what is a SharePoint and why we need a SharePoint? So, most of you guys familiar with Microsoft products, right?
Yes.
Do you have any idea what is a SharePoint and why we need to use? Okay, we'll start with the basic. So, what is a SharePoint online? So, SharePoint is uh, a web-based, collaboration platform. It's developed by Microsoft. So, it is mainly used for document management and content sharing. So, without SharePoint, how was the IT before this SharePoint online? So, you may seen in before this computer era, right? So, we all use the paper to write some information and store the information, right? Same way, the record management. So in maybe in still some of the government offices, you could see files were stored with the important documents. But with the computer uh, era, we have several technologies now to store the data and collaborate between the team or between the organization or between the people. So Microsoft have previously introduced some content management uh, technologies, but later it was taken new shape with the SharePoint. So you may hear that with before the SharePoint online, the the previous versions are on-prem version. So with the on-prem version, we have full control over the site or content where we need to manage the server it also. So it's a web-based collaboration platform. It's developed by Microsoft. We'll see how it was now with online. So it mainly used for document management and content management and collaborating in within the team or within the organization. So the key features it includes with the document storage, document management, you can store and organize and share the documents across the teams or across the organization. And also you can collaborate the data between the internal team or external team also. And with the SharePoint, you can also customize the look and feel and how you want to project to the teams. And also it gives the opportunity with the other Office 365 products like Word, Excel, Outlook. You can integrate or uh, uh, share across other tools or other products within the Microsoft. So this is main uh, advantage with the SharePoint Online, and these are the key features we can get it from SharePoint Online. And why we need to use. So we need to use because it's a centrally managed document library or a document store, we can say. So the SharePoint provides a single platform where all the documents can be stored, organized, and accessed by multiple users. So, for example, if you have a document, physical document, you can only read or use it. But if we have online or the SharePoint document, you can share with other people, and at the same time, you can also both the users or multiple users can contribute in updating or the managing the document. And also other key feature is a collaboration and communication. So teams can collaborate on projects or documents in real time. Means so nowadays you see Excel, right? The multiple peoples at the same time you can work and update the document. So it because with the Microsoft, it's a real time you can update and the feature is with online. I mean Microsoft Online version. And also with the SharePoint Online, you can able to customize and scale the needy. What is mean customizable or or scalable? So for example, you have organization where you need today 10 people you want to get the license and you want to manage the document within the 10 people. But tomorrow you have expanded your project or your organization and other 5 people you want to add. So with the SharePoint, it's easy to customize uh, the resource or the documents, and also at runtime you can scale your needs and increase the resources. And other features like it was improved security and permissions. Like you for a same document you can share with different access levels. So in your organization, for example, HR data was there. So HR data can be viewed only by HR team and also editable. But for a normal user, it should not be, right. So such different level of permissions you can manage with SharePoint easily. So there are other key benefits like you can automate your process and you can manage the knowledge management and maintain the key knowledge, and also you can governance the data, and you can also enable the remote working with SharePoint. So before going further on this SharePoint introduction, I want to cover what are the topics we will be covering with this training. So we will be covering the introduction of the SharePoint Online, and we'll cover what are the site types, SharePoint site types. So there will be mainly three types: share team sites, communication sites, and hub sites. And what is the SharePoint online structure, how it would be looks like, what are the key components of SharePoint online, like site collections, sites, subsites, and further in that site, what are the list and libraries, and what are the pages and web parts, and coming to the navigation, what are the different types of navigation, global or local or quick launch navigation, and what is the document management, what are the key feature of this document management. You can upload or manage the documents, and you can play with the versioning, like different persons can work on the same document, right? So if something goes wrong with the latest version, you can revert to the previous working one, or you can restore maybe 10 versions earlier one and check what is the document content. Like that, we can go through what is the check-in, check-out, or content approval. These are the key features of document management. And what are the list and libraries? What are the different types of list and library we can uh, discuss, and also uh, technically we can also create in the live session and discuss what are the benefits with list and library, or what is the difference between library and list. And also we can discuss what are the permission types, or what is the benefit of security. So these we can discuss, and how we can customize the SharePoint. So how we can edit a page and add or configure the web parts, and how we can edit and publish the pages for end user. and how we can automate the workflows with Power Automate, and how we can design or use this branding feature to design the page, SharePoint pages. And coming to the search, there will be this one also. It's a separate feature for SharePoint. So in normally we in a folder we can just maintain our documents, right? And how the feature such feature helps in search and organize the files, and what is the enterprise search and local search. So this we can discuss, and how we can integrate with the Microsoft Office 365 products, and how it will be useful in collaboration. And under the content management and governance, what are the key benefits, how we can utilize the content types and templates, and how we can manage the metadata and term store for content classification, and how we can set approval for flows and process. And the other topic, main topic, is SharePoint Online Administration. So this is for a developer perspective, it will be minimal basic we can go through, but for a support perspective, we can see what are the uh, activities we can perform as a administration, and how we can manage the site collection and site quotas. So, for example, if you create a site for a uh, for example, HR or finance department, and what is the default site quota? Like it will be 2 GB by default, or in case if they have a requirement while creating the site itself, how we can manage this site quota, or how we can increase this site quota. Or later, in case if it's exceeds the limit, and how you can increase it based on the requirement, based on the site owner request, and how we can monitor usage and storage, and how we can use these health checks, and how we can troubleshoot the website in case of any accessible issues. So with SharePoint Online, it's 99.9% it will be online. There won't be any access issues. But in case any issue with customization, how we can troubleshoot. So any doubts on this? I'm just speaking, but I don't hear any query. Till this, we just it's all the basics we have seen here in the agenda, but with the next one, so PowerShell uses in SharePoint. So this is a kind of a you know uh, customization, or how we can use PowerShell in SharePoint Online. So with PowerShell, we can do many things, or it's a kind of a powerful tool for administrations, or the background activities. So using this, we can create a site collection or a site collection properties we can update, or we can also create a list and library, or we can manage the content from one site to another site. So I'd like to give a project on this, how we can use a PowerShell to manage or copy or migrate the data from one list to another list. So we can discuss when this topic comes. And what are the best practices for SharePoint Online, and how we can use this SharePoint structure to ex display the organization perfectly, and how we can use this naming convention for the right naming for list or library, or based on department we can create, or any custom requirement we can manage this structure. and how we can manage the permission with simple security groups, and how we can use this version control, and what are the documentation or the governance policies. What is the benefit of governance policies? We can discuss all this. So, any query on the agenda, the training, SharePoint training agenda? Okay, then I'll take that silence as a no question, and we'll proceed with the further introduction part. So we just seen what is a SharePoint Online, and what are the key features. So the key feature is a document storage or sharing or a co-authoring. So maybe you heard this co-authoring first time, or if you have worked already in Microsoft, it may be familiar. But co-authoring is a multi-contribution concept. Like you have created a Excel document, and the same Excel can be stored in SharePoint online, and then it can be updated by multiple users. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. So where we have what is a SharePoint online versus on-premises. So we have seen this, right? What are the fee? So before SharePoint online, there are multiple versions of on-prems. So previously, our initial version is a 2003 uh, SharePoint, and then they have released a new version called SharePoint 207 or 2007, and then it's a another upgrade or MOS what we say the highly successful version is succeeded version is a SharePoint online SharePoint 2010 in on-prem version. So with SharePoint 2010, it's in peak in the IT industry. So or we can also call it as a SharePoint 2010. So with that, they have given a lot of customizable features. So we can develop a solutions using Visual Studio and then deploy in the SharePoint Online, which used SharePoint data and display or a kind of user interactive web parts. With SharePoint 2010, they have given these highly customizable options, and later they have introduced SharePoint 2013, that is semi-cloud, or what we say um, partial. They have introduced online features are partially integrated with other Microsoft products like Excel or Word or OneDrive. And the next version they have released uh, uh, kind of a two versions. One is a SharePoint Online and SharePoint 2016. There, it's online is completely cloud-based and fully integrated with Microsoft products. And 2016 version is the one, the last on-prem version we can say, and it was uh, semi-customizable, where 2010 is a fully customizable, but coming to the 2016 and 2013 and 2016 is a semi-customizable, but in online, so here we can see the main differences with SharePoint Online and on-prems, where the hosting for online is a cloud, and it's managed by Microsoft. So we don't have any uh, access to the administration, means we cannot access the server. But in on-prems, it's a self-hosted or on company servers, and the administrator have full access to the server and the central administration. And the maintenance, just a minute, and the maintenance is handled by Microsoft, and where on-premise it's managed internally, and there it should have separate team for administration activities. And how it was updated, in online it's automatic, and a frequent update will be there to you know, give security patches and any new features if they have introduced, it automatically includes in the package. But in on-prem, it is manually updated by IT team, and there is almost uh, there will be risk if the update went wrong or if any issue, then IT team, internal IT team has to take action. And coming to the cost, it's a subscription based, like yearly we have to pay to Microsoft, and uh, then we get the service. And coming to the on-premise, it's upfront and the ongoing infrastructure costs. Like we have to pay the server and the SQL for database management. We have to maintain a separate server, and any other cost it will be on, we have to pay. And accessibility, like it from on SharePoint Online, it's accessible from anywhere. You can access outside our office network also, but you just need to authenticate with your credential. But coming to the SharePoint on-premise, it's limited by network or VPN access. So you roughly you cannot access the on-prem outside your office network or without VPN. So it's kind of a limitation with on-premise. But online version you can access from anywhere, public network also. But there is a chances to limit the access for public domains, but it will be accessible. So coming to the environment, so SharePoint on-premise is uh, we have to procure the servers. Like there are two types of servers we need to procure. One is a SharePoint application server, and the backend server. So the minimum requirement is here, but based on your uh, business requirement, you need to increase this number of servers or the RAM size. So these are the given is a minimum requirement. So coming to the hardware requirement, the RAM size should be minimum 16 GB, but it should be 32 GB or 64 GB for better performance. And processor, it's 64 bit and 4 cores, but we recommend 8 cores of processor. And hard disk is two drives. One is C drive is for 80 GB for the OS, and the secondary drive for 100 GB for the SharePoint installation. And the software requirement is like the Windows Server OS is required. This is the latest, right? Or latest server OS. It's a Windows Server. I think 2016 also there, but the the last supported version for SharePoint is Windows Server 2012 R2 standard or a data center, and it should be 64-bit version. And these are the for on-premise, but coming to the SharePoint Online, it's a cloud-based service, so we don't bother about the servers, what is the hardware or what is the software is required, because it's all managed by Microsoft. And SaaS-based authentication and tenant subscription, like if we subscribe for it's a license based, right? So But today, if we have requirement for 100 users, you can go with the 100 license, and maybe another 1 month, if you want to enhance the business, then you can procure another 100 or 50 licenses, and on the go, you can assign the license to end user, and they can just access the site. So, any doubts on this introduction part, guys? Okay, and think most of you guys have familiar or have basic knowledge on SharePoint or the servers, I believe. Otherwise, I think some questions may arise in this environment. Fine. Let's go to the next topic called SharePoint site types. So SharePoint sites, right? Just a minute. Okay. So coming to the SharePoint site types, like a site is what we can say. It's a terminology we use in SharePoint. So we can also call it as a root site or the main site. So these are there are mainly three types. Also, we have others site types we can discuss, but uh, for this introduction class, I'll just focus on these three sites. So one is a team sites. The main purpose of the team site is it can be created for internal collaboration within a team or a department. So, for example, if internal collaboration within a team means if you have a development team for Java or for example SharePoint development also, you can just create a team and add your all the team members, and then you can communicate or you can share a file or you can post a uh, kind of a project information, project key uh, information in that chart. So these team sites can be also used for communication or any file sharing or different purposes. So the features is like it will be comes by default with a document library, list, shared calendars, and integrated with Microsoft Teams. So most of you guys are familiar now, right? With Microsoft has introduced the Teams for communication. So previously there is a Skype, right? Skype for business, or before that there is a different tools. Now they have introduced Teams. So these team sites can be directly connected with the Microsoft Teams, and any meeting scheduled within the team, it can be shown in this shared calendar. So these are the feature and where the use case will be. So these team sheet can be created in the projects or teams or internal groups. So for example, in your team, in your project uh, called development project, right? Or for example, BBC project. So within that BBC project, if you have multiple teams like a development team, testing team, support team, so there can be three teams sites can be created for each development team and testing team and project team or a support team, and it can be managed differently separately and share the communication. And the communication sites, coming to this, it's mainly for broadcasting information across organization. So the key feature here, it will be visually rich layouts, and it will comes with a news, events, announcements, and reports. So with this site, by default, all these layouts will be created. Or layout means it's kind of a web part we can see. So what is the layout? What is a web part? We can see in your the next session in the practically. So the next site type is a hub sites. So it's mainly, the name itself describes what is the needy. Hub sites means you can connect multiple people or multiple topics and organize related information. So hub sites is a not a one site, we can say. So it's a multiple sites connected together and share the same search or navigation, other information across the associated sites. So we can see the practically how it looks like in the next session. And apart from these three sites, three different types, we have other sites like it called a document center, where it will be used for large scale document management. And the key features like it will be you benefits with versioning, metadata, document checkup, or check-in, check-out. These are the key features of document center site. And blog site is another one. The main purpose of this blog site is for sharing news, ideas, articles. So in your organization, if you want to build some knowledge sharing site, you can use this blog site. So it will be useful for like a blogging capabilities with different categories, and with it will also provide the feature with comments. Like if you have published the article and within your organization, other users can come and read that article and comment, or give their valuable feedback. And other site is a project site, where you can manage the project specific tasks with timelines. It will also gives the task list, calendar, and document library. And where you can use is short term or ongoing projects with task tracking feature. So these are the SharePoint sites, different SharePoint sites. Any query on this different site types? Okay, I'll take note then.
A టీమ్ సైట్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ సైట్ సబ్స్క్రిప్షన్స్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటదా? అంటే లిమిటెడ్ పీపుల్ ఫర్ టీమ్ సైట్స్, కమ్యూనికేషన్ సైట్ ఈజ్ హ్యూజ్ పీపుల్ కదా, అట్లా
Uh,
యాక్సెస్ కానీ సెక్యూరిటీ కానీ అట్లా ఏమైనా ఉంటదా దాని మీద?
uh, Teams subscription is same, Monica. So team site is different. Like uh, I mean, if you add the team member, they can access.
ఓకే.
Without adding, they cannot access the
ఎనీ
team site.
లిమిటేషన్స్ అండ్ డిఫరెన్సెస్ బిట్వీన్?
A limitation, it's altogether different use purpose. Like a team site can be for a short. I mean, people with the different teams, right? For example, HR department have their own team site,
యా.
and finance department have their own team, but they cannot access other team site. That's what we say. It's a We cannot say it's a limitation, but it's a key feature of this team site. Means it can
ఓకే.
be
దేర్
a
ఈస్ వీ కెన్ అప్లై సమ్ సెక్యూరిటీ.
yeah, security feature, we can say. But where communication sites, we can say it's across organization. So no need to add any user to this site. By default, across organization, they can see all the communication or broadcasting information in this site.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Monica. It's a valuable question. Okay, any other question? Okay, then I'll move to the next one. Uh, so SharePoint structure, right? How it looks, SharePoint online structure. So in the top, we can say it's a tenant. Let me display the picture first. So in the top, we say it's a Office 365, also called a top level tenant. So, SharePoint Online, uh, it's a package comes with the Office 365. So we display as a Office 365 here, and in the within that, we can create multiple site collections and sites. So site collection is nothing but top level site or a tenant we can call. So within the tenant, we can create multiple site collection. So for example, within our organization, like it's a Saga Tech, we can say here, tenant name. Within the Saga Tech, we can create HR department and one for site collection, another one for finance, and another one for facility, right? So within that site collections, we can create subsites. So within the HR department, we can say the recruitment team, or for recruitment team, we can create a one subsite. And similarly for what we say, onboarding, we can create our jobs uh, referral, we can create another subsite, right? So this kind of structure we can create in a SharePoint. So maybe in another technologies, it's a different approach they may follow, but here we don't take much time. Within a day, we can just or within an hour, we can create site and uh, update the site content and push to end user usage. So let's see what is the site structure here. So as we seen here, there, it's a top tenant is called the top level environment managed by organization, and it contains all the SharePoint online services, sites, and users. So if you want to add a new user, then we need to go to top tenant, I mean tenant level, and add a user. We can see that in today, maybe if possible, we can just add a user and then see. And within that tenant, we can create a site collection. So site collection is nothing but top level site, and it's a grouping of related SharePoint sites. Means group of subsites can be created under the site collection. We can also say it's a root site of the collection. And within the site collection, we can say subsites, child sites under the top level sites called subsites. So it's optional, and a modern SharePoint prefers a flat structure with no subsites. So there is a reason for this recommendation, as a modern SharePoint prefers a flat structure with no subsets, because if you create more subsites, there will be more permission you need to maintain, right? Subsite level, and more permission customized, then some performance degrades there with the SharePoint Online. So they prefer to create a flat level, means top level site itself. And sites and subsites is nothing like we just discussed, right? Team sites and communication sites and hub sites. So we already seen this. What is mean team site and call communication site. Coming to the SharePoint list and library. So list is nothing like a structured data storage, like a spreadsheet for items and records. And document library is nothing but to store and manage the files with versioning and metadata. So we'll discuss more in depth, and we can also practically see what is the list and library. But the main difference, the lists are kind of a Excel data, right? Where we can store in a list. But Excel itself we cannot store as a list, but we can store in a document library. We can see more detail in practical sessions. And pages is the in the SharePoint, the web pages are important to display the content from file or any news. We use web pages. And coming to the web parts for building and designing the content. So within the page, we cannot display any text or something, right, directly. For that, we need to include or insert a web part where it will display data from plain text or image or document library or list. These are different web parts. I just listed here, but we can see more in practical session. And coming to the other one in the structure, SharePoint online structure, it's another component is navigation. So navigation helps user to access and organization. Organize the content in different levels. Like we have seen top level site collection, subsites, list, and library, right? But those are the components. But how user will link other components? Across all those components, how they can navigate. For that, we use this now navigation component, or we can also uh, two types of navigation. One is a top level or global navigation. It provides access to the entire SharePoint environment. So it can be typically found in the SharePoint app bar or a top navigation, and the scope is links to top level sites. Hub sites are key resource accessible across all site collection, and where we can use ideal for organization wide resources. Example, intranet page or company policies or hub sites. So for example, here we see, right, site collection 1, site collection 2, site collection 3. How we can link all these three? We can use global navigation. The other navigation component called local navigation, it also called quick launch. So typically it will be in the left hand side. So it provides navigation to specific to an individual site or a site collection, or also we can navigate to a specific to list or library using this local navigation. So it will be found in quick launch left hand side, also called as a quick launch. And the scope of this to links to subsites, list or library, and other content in the different site collection, and where we can use it within a site or a team site, we can use this. So on summary, global navigation is used to navigate between the site collection, and local or quick launch navigation used for within the site or subsite. Okay, that's it for today. Let me see if I can access the SharePoint site. Okay, I can see it now. Okay, so this is called SharePoint Administration Center or Admin Center, where we can manage the sites or users. So this is admin center used for managing the site collection, and also the Office 365 admin center we can use it for adding a user. So as we've seen, there will be three types of site collections, right? So this communication site mainly used for broadcasting the messages or broadcasting the news. So this will be the landing page or the home page of a communication site. So where you can customize the landing page or the navigation as we just discussed, right? This is called global navigation. And left side navigation will not be there for communication site because there won't be any content or they can go to content, but for communication site we don't find local uh, navigation or quick launch navigation, but only top site uh, global navigation we can see. Let me create just a team site just to. Okay, so when you click on create new item, new site, right, it will show these two different types. One is a team site where you can track and stay update on project status or share the team resource and co-author content. All site owners and members can publish the site content and can connect to other 365 products. And where communication site just to share information that engages a broad audience and create or a portal or a subject focused site. So it will engage dozens or thousands of viewers and few content authors and may site visitors. So I'll just go to site template, and when you click on the site template, it will navigate across different templates where you can create different one, standard team or employee onboarding, as we've seen in the other previous discussion, right? For example, the HR team want to create an onboarding team. So there are a few predefined templates which can be used for your needy, or you can customize just to go with the standard template. I'll just go with the standard template and just use this template. So once you enter the site name and description, so the site address can be taken from the site name. So you can see site address by default, but if you wish to customize, you can customize it. And group owner, uh, since no users are there, let me add this. And next, it will show the what are the types or privacy settings. So do you wish to create a public Teams site or a private? So public means anyone in organization can access this site. Means if you share some information, it can be accessed by any of the member in your organization. But if you wish to protect or share only with a limited one, then you can just a private use setting you can choose as a private, and you can also select language. So this setting is very helpful in case if you want to manage the content in different language. So for example, if you wish to create a site for Karnataka, then you wish to choose Kannada, right? But I'm not sure if Kannada is there or not. Nope. Only uh, country wise we can see. So you can leave it as English, and the time zone. If you wish to create for Karnataka time zone, then or at least India, then you can choose the 5:30 region. Yeah, plus 5:30 and create team site. So while creating, you can add a member, but so far no user, new users are there. I just add myself a member and then click on finish. So another important we seen this, or we discussed the site storage, right? So this can be also edit, and you can manage the site quota. We'll see that in next session, but let's access this team site. So just a few clicks, we can just create this team site, and just only this one member can access this. And if you wish, you can add on more members using this sharing option. You can see here either this one member or just this icon. You can click on share, or you can also use this share option where you can just share this page or complete the site. And you can see it's a private group, so it cannot be changed to public. And yeah, so these are the layout of the team site, and where you can see left side navigation, are also called quick launch. You can go to the home page or any document. So these are default features of team site, and the pages by default, home page is the starting one, and there is an additional page created, and also you can go to the site contents where all the components within the site can be shown, and the subsets if you have any created, and recycle bin. So these are default components in the team site. So any doubts on this, guys? So we have just covered these three main topics today, but practically we can see more on how we can create site collection we have created, and how we can create sites or subsites, and list and libraries and a page. So tomorrow I'll take this more in practical session. I think we are right on time. So any questions? I'll give 5 minutes. Please raise your question. Meanwhile, Yatish, Venkat, are you there? Or Mahesh? Can you share the list of the participants so that I can create users and share the information? Okay, I just want to ask if anyone wants to get the I mean credential to this team site or to this tenant, so that you can guys practice, maybe not today, but tomorrow onwards, whatever we show it in practical session, and maybe I'll give some kind of assignment post the call. You can try the same on the tenant level, or maybe you can also create your own tenant. But for all the participants, we'll like to give the credential so that you can do the same practice post the call.
Okay, sir.
Sure. Maybe you can share your details with the host. I think Mahesh or Yatish will consolidate that information and share it with me so that I can create users. Okay. So fine. I think no questions I see, but I'd like to get more questions on next session onwards. So I'd like to be more interactive in way in the training, so it will be helpful. Okay, then we can wind up the call. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Have a nice day. Bye all.